Hello, everyone. Welcome to this episode. We are here to introduce our global speakers, our experts who are coming to the Heal and Evolve Global Online Summit. So, just a reminder, if you have not signed up yet, make sure that you still sign up so that you receive the free access to the summit, but also receive the beautiful gifts that our speakers are sharing with us. And I'm really grateful that today I have with me Dr.Rain Lim, and we have been working or collaborating, co-creating with each other for almost, I want to say, 5 years or something. It's been starting, and then there was a little bit of a stretch, I would say, from the project. But I'm really, really grateful that our paths have crossed again. And you said you're joining our Heal and Evolve Summit, and we kind of reconnected also on that and saw that there's much alignment also in the global network that we're kind of spanning. So I'm really, really grateful you're coming and bringing a lot of your wisdom that I also was fully receiving already many years ago. And we're going to speak about the global summit and about your offering in a few minutes. But I would love to start, Rain, with the question, how you receive these times. We're always speaking about, these are special times, and as much as people are also struggling, or, it might be a bit anxious, it might come with a little bit of anxiety for many people because it's so uncertain where we're heading to. And there's so many news often, which are really not easy to digest. And also there's a lot of opportunity and there's a lot of hope. And there's always these narratives of, we're heading towards a new way of living, a new form of existing as humans, as the human species. So I'm wondering how you perceive it or how you're holding this space, and specifically with the work you're doing, supporting many people also to, kind of being in that threshold or walking the path through the threshold and coming out the other way. I would really love to hear a little bit, just whatever comes up for you, how you perceive it, what you feel is important. Maybe for the audience also, what's the guidance that you can already see in this time?
It's good to reconnect with you, Danny. I know it's been a while, and thank you for inviting me. And also thank you for inviting me to your summit, the Heal and Evolve. I'm grateful that I get the opportunity just to share whatever wisdom that comes through and through me from spirit. In regards to your question, yes, that's a lot going on. I think in the world we can all see we are having, there's a lot of breakdowns. It's very uncomfortable when we all go through breakdowns or changes, right? And if we continue to stay in the old, we will perceive those breakdowns. For some of us, very difficult. It's a struggle, very uncomfortable. Our mind likes to have something that is, it's steady, that it knows, even though sometimes the comfort may not be good for us. Yeah. At the same time, one of the things that I talk about, and those of you who are listening, you probably heard this before, breakdown is to break through. In order for a new to come, we do need to break down. Breakdown means completely break down, because in order for new to come, we cannot keep patching on the old, because the foundation is already not good. If you patch on a building that the foundation is not strong, it's going to crumble again. So it's not about fixing, it's about really allowing ourselves to let go. Right? And letting go can be very challenging for a lot of us. Yeah. Because like I said, our mind wants something that's comfortable, something that we are used to. Yet at the same time, that's what it's about this time, is our willingness to do that. And what I see right now, so a couple of things. I think your question, there's a lot of stuff in it. So one, the breakdown from the perception, our perceptions of things, right? Our beliefs really drive how we perceive something. So if you believe that things are if things are not enough, not good, that's not enough for all of us, then whatever's happening right now, we're concerned, right? So our perception of it is not good. But from my perspective, what I see the breakdown is actually, I'm excited. I'm excited that we're actually going through a breakdown. Like I said, we do need the new to come true. And we're already stepping into this new world, right? So the breakdown is happening right now. And I know there's also, I've heard of this, the prophecy of Hopi prophecy. There's a different kind of prophecies out there. He talks about the new world, right? The end. We're at the end, and so that we can welcome the beginning. Now, for some, when we hear the word, we're coming to the end, we get very concerned too. Oh my God, the end, and of course, we also hear narratives of the end of the world story, right? But I think it's important to know that it's not the end of the world. It's just the end of the old. Right? So it's important to know that. And like I said earlier, how I started, if you don't let go of the old, the new cannot come. Yeah. So it's important, for us to just And the process right now is to learn to embrace that process, the process of surrender, the process of trusting the process, and the process of embracing the new. And I think part of this unfolding also, there's another facet that's showing up, which is the divine feminine. Yeah, we've been operating a lot from the masculine side, the go get things done. It's about results, it's about competition, it's about comparison. But at the end of the day, we take a moment and breathe and ask ourselves, what's the point of doing all that? Right? Is it truly getting to the place that we want? But we've been driven that way for so long, we don't even take a moment to really think about it. Right? What I just recently did a talk on spiritual teaching, and one of the questions that I shared was about purpose and meaning in life, right? So do we take a moment to actually ask ourselves what's truly important? And in one of my talks too, I talk about, we just had a quick conversation, you and I, Danny, before this session around happiness. But to me, it's not about striving for happiness, it's about striving for inner peace, right? It's about striving for inner peace. So again, so the masculine has been going. We're all overwhelmed, all stressed out. That's where we are right now. And that needs to go. And the feminine needs to come in so that there's a balance. And feminine is about the trust and the surrender and the allowing and the flow. And that's something, some of us got to learn to be comfortable with or to learn to embrace it. I had to. I know when I first went through this whole process, it was very difficult. I'm so used to going, I want the results, right? But it took me a while to really go through that process of, it's okay. It's okay to be patient. It's okay to allow. It's okay to trust. It's okay to flow, right? Now, it's important for those who are listening. I'm not saying don't have the masculine. I'm saying that it's important to have balance, right? And what we're missing right now is the divine feminine, yeah? So we're in that process too, awakening our divine feminine. That's what I see that's happening in the world right now. Now, in regards to my point of view about how I feel about everything that's going on, I feel excited. I have a lot of conviction about humanity. My vision of all the works that I do is I adopted Buckminster Fuller's vision, which is to create a world that works 100% of the time for 100% of humanity. I believe we can achieve that. Yes, there's work to do, for sure. At the same time, I have, conviction that humanity can, together with willingness and awareness, we can come together to create this new world we're talking about. So I don't look at it as a doomsday thingy. I'm looking at it as a big opportunity for us to shift, right? To finally, at the end of the day, what's the purpose of all that? The purpose is to come back to ourselves, come back to remembering this is what we true are. This is our true nature. Our true nature it's about love. That's it. And then being able to live with everything that's around us, right? Because the trees and the animals, they're all it's connected to us. It's part of us, right? And that's what we're coming back to. That's what I see. So we are at a very exciting time. It can be a very uncomfortable time, but yet it's a very exciting time.
Yes, no, I resonate a lot. And I love that you bring in Buckminster Fuller because this quote you just mentioned, yes, is one of my favorites as well. And the other thought that he brought, I can't really quote it anymore, but the other thought is, you can't build the new on the old system, which is also speaking to what you were saying in the beginning. It has to have a breakdown before there's a breakthrough. So this inner, let's say, focus on how can we create the new, how can we already live now aligned to the vision that we all hold for the future, for everything's always happening for all human beings and other species and nature on this planet. So Rachel, who's also one speaker, I had a conversation with her before, and she said it practically comes down to the question, how do you, in your unique way, love, so I really love that notion that we all share the same vision of, okay, there is something in the future where we already put our vision, our focus, our energy, our attention on, and we are aligning our own being, our own doing onto that so that we know that it's possible, and we don't really know what still will come in this transition time and how we still might have to overcome challenges collectively, individually, let go of the old. It's as you said, it's never really comfortable, but it's truly, truly helpful for me as well, that I really believe that this is why we're here, and that's why we're also together, finding each other in this collective to support each other in holding on to the belief and holding the space for everyone else who's just starting to walk this path with us. And to always, like Kylie also said, another speaker, she said, it's not anymore away from, but it's towards something new. So that also our subconscious is coming along. Because if you want to go away from something, it's still holding on to the old. And so
Yeah.
we're really trying to focus on the new one. So yeah, I love that you bring that. And also that approach from, saying there's a few people maybe only who are holding that vision, it's maybe not everyone yet. And we see that many people might have their fights and struggles and whatever. But let's just try to do whatever we can in our world, in our communities, to focus on this new and not to put too much energy in what's not working, but really focusing on how we want to co-create together. That's beautiful. Thank you for
Yeah.
bringing this.
Oh, no, I was just going to say that you mentioned that, from the other speakers too, and how we all connected. Ultimately, we're here to, so you were talking about, just think about a caterpillar analogy, right? For some of us, inside the chrysalis, or when we're in the process of metamorphosis, it's very uncomfortable, it's very mushy, yet that process is necessary, right, for it to become a butterfly. So,
Yeah.
and for some of us, that's where we are. And things can get messy. I mean, the world is messy right now if you look at it from an angle. Yet
Yeah.
we're approaching the new, which is the exciting part.
Exactly. And I can imagine even for you, and for me, it's the same. It's not because we have been involved in this path for so long. It's still messy and it's still painful and still difficult sometimes also for us. And yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like the process that we all have to go through. No one can get around it. It's like really a journey we all have to take together, because we all have been growing up in a system that's not serving us. We all have been growing up in conditioned beliefs and patterns and all of that stuff. So basically everyone has to do their own work.
Yeah.
No one will get out of this without doing the work, and that might be painful and it might be difficult. You bring the caterpillar, the butterfly, this like going into the dark and facing your pain and really going through that mud that you have to go through is such an important time. But you also don't have to do it alone, right? But you have to do the work for yourself. No one is going to do that for yourself, but you don't have to do it alone. And that's why I love also that in this global summit, we can see there's so many different ways how we can, support each other. And there's so many guidance and so much guidance and so many different ways how to learn to let go of the old and build that hope and prepare yourself and walk that path. So thank you for really bringing a big part. I know that you also have a huge community already in Asia and also in the US and all over the globe probably. And maybe you can share a little bit like what you feel is the biggest challenge often for people that come to you or who come to you and come to the different offerings you're having. Where do you feel people have that first kind of aha moment, or where they have to go through to make that first step towards this new faith, this faith into the new world?
Well, a lot of my work, and I know you've attended one or two, I can't remember, of my programs, and a lot of my work surrounds around belief system, right? And because in my own journey of healing and shift, because I was the same, I did everything that they told me to do, go to school, get married, have kids, and then life would be happy. But that didn't happen. And then I had to really go and dig deep and figure out why it's not working. How come I don't feel great at home? I'm not satisfied. And long story short, one of the discovery I had in my own healing journey was about our belief system. I started to realize that a lot of our belief system is drives how we see the world, right? Our point of view of something. So if you're someone who feel like the world is scarce, your view of things is not enough, and then you would behave and make decision based on that, and then that's what create a result. But you're someone who believes the world is abundant, the same thing, you see the world differently, then you will behave differently, right? There's abundance, there's enough, there's a lot. Yeah, there's more generosity, and then that creates results. So my fundamental focus on my work is around that, and in a holistic way too. I find a lot of our work, when we do go through healing, it has to be holistic, right? Because we're a holistic being. We are mind, body, emotion, and spirit. We're not just our mind, or we're not just our emotion. And so what I see when people come to me at the end of the day, what's the challenge they have? Well, one of the things that I notice a lot in my work is their trauma that they experience. And again, trauma, it's a big word and can be, now it's also kind of overly used word, I find, in the
Yeah.
world. But to me, I define trauma as in an experience that had hurt you. And the experience, especially when you're younger, 0 to 7, which they call it developmental trauma. Yeah. For a child, if they got smacked, it can be traumatizing for them, depending on the impact, how they interpret that situation. They could have been yelled at or they saw an event, right? So, and going through that process, when they go through that, whatever happened to them is locked in their body, the memory, and then of course the emotion. Yeah. And that's one of the things that I recognize when people came to do my work, they held on to a lot of trauma. Now, the thing is this, because they're operating for so long to avoid the pain or to numb the pain, or they don't know how to express it. They've been operating and behaving a certain way, right? And because of that conditioning, which we talked about a bit earlier, that's the struggle. When usually they
Mhm.
come is again back to the resistance, and
Yes.
it's difficult to let go because to them it feels like they've been
Mhm.
protected from that hurt, right? That pain for a long time. So in our work, a lot of trust and safety needs to be built in order to support them to know your mind, your body is telling you this is pain, yet this happened in the past and it's going to be okay. And we are here to hold you, to support you, to let go of that pain and hurt and whatever experience you have in a holistic way. And then you can start to change that story that you have,
Mhm.
right, which is a belief system. Then you can start to create different results. So that's kind of one of the thing that I see is that fear that holds people, right? And because of their previous experience that creates the resistance. And all of us are different. Some of us are more open, some of us are more willing, some of us, depending on what we've gone through and the trauma that we have experienced, we tend to hold back more, right? So there's no one way. One thing I do want to say is in the past, I came as a savior syndrome. I used to think I need to save everybody, but then the world can change. Then over time, when I started doing my work, I recognized that everyone had to choose to be. They, like you said earlier, they got to do the work themselves. We can support them. We can provide them the tools, what they can do, but the choice is theirs, right? To take that step. And for some of us, we take bigger steps. For some of us, we take little steps, but it's okay. I think the most important thing is to be willing to take that step. And once you take that step, you can move closer to remembering you, the innocent, the pure you when you were here in the beginning.
Yeah, and I also remember, and I love that about you, that you bring a lot of play and a lot of humor, So specifically, when I realized in the places where there's a lot of depth, kind of, see,
Ooh.
there's a wasp coming. It's loving you. Have to wait until she's gone. Okay. So what I remember is that you bring a lot of play and a lot of humor, and I really love that because I mean I'm a German, I'm strict, I'm a psychologist, So very often I felt that it's very heavy to work with that pain and with that conditioning and the old stories and stuff. And I really feel that you brought a lot of beautiful energies that are helping people to go through. So I learned a lot from you in that case, that I said, okay, it doesn't have to be so serious always, sometimes it's even helpful to bring in some more humor and some more joy and some more playfulness to allow people also to have the courage, because what you were speaking to just now, one is the willingness to make the choice, but then also to have the courage to really actually go there. And specifically when you had a lot of pain, or when you're fearing the outcome of if you go there, So I love that encouragement to, the humor and the courage that people bring then when it's more about play. And I think that's a really powerful way to help people go through things. And also in the group, I think I really love that approach, that the group, when you create a beautiful container of safety for people to be seen by the group and be witnessed also in their breakthroughs. That's a really powerful way of supporting them to move forward and to be acknowledged for also what they have just chosen to change in their lives. So
Yeah.
that's really nice.
That's why
Yeah.
I like to do group work. And yeah, like you mentioned, I realize through play, people can, really start to dive in, right? Because it's a immersive experience when you're playing. And then when you're playing, then, all these subconscious stuff start to surface, then it's an opportunity to just see, right? What happened or what's going on or how can we make those choices. And then retrospectively, you can then kind of dissect, okay, where this came from and how come, and then start to work forward from there. Yeah. So, and group work, I like the group work because, like you said earlier, the opportunity to be witness. At the same time, what I've also noticed, we call it the popcorn, when someone is vulnerable, it allows the next person to say, oh, it's okay. It's safe. I can be vulnerable too. Right. And everybody's okay. Nobody's judging me when I'm vulnerable and real and authentic. And, vulnerability is true strength. That's, like you said, courage. Yeah. It takes courage actually to be vulnerable. Actually, it takes a
Yes.
lot more courage to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
Right. So that's why I like to do group work too.
Yeah, it's beautiful. So let's speak just a little bit about the Global Online Summit before we move really back into your own offerings and how people can work with you. And the global online offering. I think you're part of day two, which is all about frequency activation. And now we were speaking a lot about your group work and the activation also on, letting go of old beliefs and stepping into your new version of you. And I also know that you have recently opened a healing school or healing institute, so also doing a lot more healing work. So I would love to hear a little bit more what you're doing there and what you're intending to bring to the conference.
Yes, I've just started. Initially, it was called Sacred Healing School, but I've changed it to Sacred Wisdom School right now. Yeah, so in that school, basically, I do teach energy healing. I've been gifted some modalities, from the God of Wisdom, Egyptian God of Wisdom. So that's in that school. But I've recently changed to Sacred Wisdom School because one of the things that I've been guided by spirits to offer spiritual teaching. So I do that actually at the moment, once a month, last Saturday of the month, and it's free and for public. And yeah, that's what I'm doing. Of course, you've attended the other organization of mine where we run the program called Seeds Leadership. In regards to the summit, my focus is actually the day I'm speaking, Danny, is day 3. I'm not able to make it day 2. And it's about embodiment and integration. So my intention is to share a little bit about the title at the moment. This is what I had: the heart of wisdom and the path of love. Yeah. So it's about bringing you back to love, remembering who you are. And from that, when you focus inwardly, use that expression to express you outwardly. So that's kind of what I'll be speaking on that day as well. I forgot what else did you ask already.
No, I think you answered all of my questions. That was basically it. The other thing that I asked was about your healing school and how people can work with you, So you just mentioned that you're having this last Saturday of the month. People can join your healing or your wisdom sharing. We're gonna put your credential, how do you say, your contact details and everything under the video so people can join you. Maybe you want to speak to what is coming next for you. So the last Saturday in the month is always a good way to join. And then from your programs, are there any things coming up in the near future for people maybe to join?
Well, I run my Seeds Leadership Program every year in North America in person and in Asia. Seeds Leadership is a lot about self-leadership, and in there is where you really start to get to know you. It's a foundation program, right? That's where also we do some healing in that program as well. I focus a lot on universal principles where you can apply in different parts of areas of your life. Principles like integrity, commitment, responsibility, gratitude. I call forgiveness a principle as well. So that happens every year. For 3 to 4 times, and that's a foundation program. I also have a money seeds program where we look very specifically around your beliefs and money, because many a times we think money is all about the doing part. It's actually at the end what drives our relationship with money. It's our beliefs around money. So we have that program running as well. In addition, it's the healing school, which is the Sacred Wisdom School. Now I offer what I call the Sacred Healing Program, where in that program you'll learn, that's also the foundation program, where you'll learn 6 different healing modalities, where, you'll learn about aromatherapy, essential oils, right, crystals, imagery, the chakras, sound healing. And the primary one is called the Sacred Rainbow Energy Healing. That's the one that's been gifted to me by Thoth, the Egyptian God of Wisdom. So that program happens also twice a year. Once in North America and then in Asia. Asia maybe once or twice a year. So that's kind of some of the things that are coming up. Although next year, I'm actually focused on offering more of the advanced program where those who have done my foundation healing program, they're going to be learning how to be a practitioner for the sacred breathwork, sacred integrated constellation. It's a bit like family constellation, but I've adapted it a little bit more in a holistic way. So there's somatic work in there, emotional release work in there. And then the last one is a sacred spirit dance. So kind of more true dance. You go into trance, kind of and you connect to, you're in an altered state, and that's where you start to do your work as well. So next time I'm focusing on that.
Beautiful. Sounds really amazing. Thank you so much. And I can't wait to hear more on the Global Online Summit, what you're bringing, because I know that you're always also very kind of in the moment, tuning in and coming, letting spirit come through. And so I'm really excited that you're going to come and share whatever is then active within you, because you're going to be in Malaysia also for your training. And so I can assume it's also, a lot that you're going to perceive there, what's coming through. Thank you so much for taking the time today to speak to me and also to come to the Global Online Summit. And I'm really looking forward to also seeing what people will receive and take, and how this is all affecting everyone who's joining and listening in. Thank you for being here today.
Again, thank you for inviting me. I'm really grateful. I'm blessed, and like I said in the beginning, to be given the opportunity just to share. And I look forward to those who are coming to the summit.
Yeah, thank you. And everyone who's listening in, if you have not signed up, please make sure you will find the link underneath the video to sign up and receive the beautiful gifts all our speakers are sharing with us. And tune in when we have the Global Online Summit on September 20 to 22nd. Thank you for listening in. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.